got lots of troops out.
Maybe we can talk to them through the window in the front. What's that? I wonder if they'll come to the front of the window.
I'm the representative, so I'm just presenting you with this copy. So.
Okay, thank you. I'll make sure it gets right into the file, okay?
Yeah, we want to know, where did the province get the authority to come on an Indian reserve? Currently, you're trespassing unless you're invited by an Indian to come onto the reserve.
I am just following the Supreme Court order. That's all my job is today.
Okay, but there's a conflict there.
That I know,
The
but that's
province
not
is-
up to me. I have to follow the court orders and why I'm here.
Okay, then
I have no
Then
no
you just
say.
deliver it. You have an explanation here how we can resolve it all, and that's
Like I
how
said,
we'll do it.
Management has a copy of your letter,
Sure. Okay.
right? So I'm just doing my job.
Okay. Yeah. And all you can do is deliver that. There's a huge dispute here, and
I understand.
and there's only
a
one
huge
way it can be
dispute.
resolved, and
I
I've
understand.
suggested
I'm
that
here
in
doing
here.
my job right now.
Okay, then
But you've delivered the letter.
you deliver your letter, and you can go.
Well, that's up to Sergeant Cook when I leave.
Okay, but you're trespassing right now because you're
Again,
you
that's
have
up to
no
Sergeant
jurisdiction
Cook.
on the
Again,
reserve.
I have no comments. Besides that, it's up to Sergeant Cook when I leave.
But you have no jurisdiction on the reserve. You're trespassing.
Can you explain how you have jurisdiction here in this area?
I'm sorry. I
cannot?
cannot give comments on that.
You could read it.
I'm the sheriff. Has been sent. I do believe you have a copy of the court order today, right? You don't need to. Do you need to see another copy, or do you have one?
I already have a copy.
Okay. So they sent me here to vacate the premises today.
So what does that mean?
Well, I'm supposed to deliver vacant possession to the band. So normally what happens is you gather some things that you need just for temporary things until you get situated, and then you have 72 hours to come back and clean up your house, get your pet, like any pets that are left behind or anything like that, right? No one wants to take your things or anything like that from you. That gives you time to make arrangements for help, for trailers, all that kind of things. I'm not going to force anything today. My main goal was being able to communicate with you and talk to you. Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, you have done your job.
Okay.
You've collected, as you can see by Del Riley and by the support, there's a lot more than just.
Oh yes, it's
eviction.
deeper. It's
a
deeper.
matter of
Yes,
following our own ways and our own law.
absolutely. It's much, much deeper.
So I will ask you to return to your office, fill out that paperwork, send
I
it
sure
that
will.
you tried, and unsuccessful, so that we can all not appear in front of a judge in the morning for bail.
Yep. Sounds good to me, Tim.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay. You take care of yourself, okay?
You too.
I suggest you have your superiors read it too. There's a remedy in there. Sure.
Tell me what happened here today.
Yeah, obviously someone someone from the province, as I read on the back of her, she was some sort of enforcement from the province of Ontario, coming onto an Indian reserve. And the only way she should be able to come onto anybody's property is if they invited her. No one invited her. I reminded her that she was trespassing and that she had no enforcement abilities on the reserve at all anyway. So, and that if, of course, there's a dispute here, and this can all be resolved easily if they will sit down and let's look at all the facts, and from that we can draw the proper, fair conclusion from this, and it shouldn't take very long.
What kind of precedent do you think it sets if the province is allowed to evict people from Indian reserves?
Oh, that'd be total war. The province is not a state. They're just an administrative unit of the federal government. These people are a nation here. I don't know how the province figures they can deal with a nation.
Yeah, because I asked her what happens if we don't vacate today, and then that's when she deferred to Dory.
Yeah.
So she accepted that idea to fill out the form and say she was unable to, just to keep the peace. So it worked pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And the fact that everybody's here, all the support from the community members, from friends and family, it shows that there could have been a lot more tension.
It's under Indian Affairs jurisdiction, just from the documents I've seen.
Yeah.
And that means it's Indian Reserve, and province. What's the province doing here? That's a big question, and why?
I've called several times to try and get them involved because it's unlawful expropriation of land, what they've been doing. And I got a phone call, everybody's polite. Sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. You need a lawyer. Well, unfortunately, when nobody's teaching you and you're learning on the fly, you don't learn. Because how do you know the person that you're getting any experience from knows what they're talking about? You know? Yeah. And that's why people like Delbert are so important. They know the laws, they know the application of the laws, and they have knowledge of the ways, of our ancestral ways.
Yeah. Be easily resolved if they just follow our instructions here.
Yeah. Okay. Because all the paperwork is there, and they have a copy of the paperwork due to the environment study for Shebeshekong Road to prove the Kewaquado homestead exists. These people are handing in paperwork left, right, and center. We have a claim, we have a claim. Oh, your claim's with the federal government. No, the federal government's not the one screwing us over. It's our own chief and council. And that's the big thing. And that's what we're at right now.
And that's where we are.
You're standing up for your rights. And that's there's nothing more noble than that.
And nothing more criminal.
Well, in there, somebody else's mind, but not yours. Yeah. You're not doing anything criminal.
I'm Mary Kewaquado. I'm the legal heiress to the Kewaquado homestead, which is the King George land grant. And I was not in favor of Tim and Jo being left homeless. I am glad that the sheriff did not get what she wanted.
I'm Donna Longlad, and I'm a member, I'm going to say, of the Kewaquado legacy. My grandparents were Kewaquados, and I'm, gifted to be part of that clan. Today, what has happened, and hasn't happened, but the forcible removal of 2 people from the community is not acceptable. And going through the courts, it just puts everyone at jeopardy that they won't have a say if someone decides that they are going to be the next victim. And I'm going to say victim because this is a personal, I'm going to say, grudge against someone who wants to stand up and doesn't do harm to the community. And I don't think that is right. And people need to be aware of what's going on, because they could be next. If you don't pay your mortgage, you don't pay your rent, you are then the victim of a elected council who is put there by the people. And they seem to forget that the people they have are looking after all of the membership, not just some of them, and then the us's are left to survive on our own without that support. It's not right.
My name is Vince Pavus, and I came in support the last few days. Well, maybe longer than the last few days, but because I didn't agree with Tim Ladouceur being removed from the House, as he's a band member of our community, and I believe he's entitled to be there. And I look at it also as just a personal grudge by somebody who is unhappy and using politics to remove somebody when they don't have the right to. So I was grateful that we were all here. Grateful that Tim stayed in the house and did what he was instructed to do, and grateful with the outcome. At least now maybe we'll have a meeting with the leadership of the community and find a resolution to this.
Bonjour. My name's Marilyn Longlad Capriel, and I am also a descendant of the Kewaquado lineage. And I trust in that line today, the ancestors, because we have been given one sacred gift from Creator to come and sit with us. And that's the 13 moon cycle. There are 13 people in the circle. Sarah left, Rosie came, Noble left, and Rosie's still here. So we still have 13 living entities of the governance of what Creator meant in terms of taking care of the land and everything that she holds. This process, my husband said he didn't know that we were going to be mid-70-ish and we get to go to our first protest, but we're here. I don't have much time left to be walking the earth. So for me, the importance of leaving something behind for the young people. I just don't know what this is, homeless over here. I just don't know. I've never heard of that. However, Tim and Joe were not alone. We have another woman living in a shack. And if it wasn't for the goodness of some of the community members to pull together, I don't know what would happen to that woman. She would have to go away. We have young people living in a shack as well. And what is our responsibility as elders and grandparents and family, community? What's our responsibility? To tell them that that's all right, that's normal? We expect them to go and do white man's education. But how can they do that when they don't even have sandwiches to take? Don't have a place for washing clothes and things. And the only way that they survive is out of the goodness of somebody else that's already stretched to the limit. I will never understand this. Never, never, never. And the people that have created this came sneaking here today. Weren't big enough. Where's our chief? Where's the council? Do this. I'm not much different than Tim and Joe, and I don't even have a shack to live in on the reserve or homeland. Couldn't even put one up, wouldn't know where. So what's going to happen to the future if you're not on that special list, if you're not in that special governance? But I do know one thing, that Creator's governance came here to sit with us in this strong, strong circle. Rosie, she's already done her part in ceremony, but she's willing to sit here and take her place today as a four-legged, to remind us about the animals and the chickens and roosters and the little birds singing. That is to remind us of our responsibility of that sky world as well. And how do we transfer this to our young people with dignity? It's very hard. Miigwech.
Well, it's been a very interesting road that I'm on. I think a lot of my life, all the trouble I've been in, the things I've learned are to bring me to this point where to show people that standing up is the right thing to do and to speak out, because like-minded people, such as everybody that's here, will speak out against the wrong as well. And I don't think I've ever seen so many cell phones going at once, recording everything. And that's what we need to do. We need to record everything. Because when our elders are gone, this will be our history. And it's very important that all the words, the wisdom, and the knowledge that comes from our elders be utilized. And I'm grateful to each and every person who showed up today. For standing tall, for showing that they will not be bullied into allowing other people to be harmed. That we are a human race. The only race is from birth to grave. Everything we do in between, we should be doing for each other. Because everybody that does for us deserves no less. And that's about all I got to say right now.
Yeah, we prepared a letter in response to the attempt by the province to evict Tim and his wife off the land here. Now we've sent it to all the principals that are involved in this scheme, which includes the sheriff, their lawyer, chief and counsel, and everyone involved. And I'm just going to read this letter because it lays out the facts and recommends a solution that, if we put all the facts on the table, the problem, in my mind, with all of my experience, can be easily resolved. And I say that's important because the province has to know a lot of things. And obviously, when those people came here, I'm surprised they really didn't know what the law was or what they were doing here. And because basically the province has no authority on an Indian reserve, and they were trying to enforce something from the province. And so we're proposing in this letter that we get together. That way I can lay out all the facts, what their side is, what our side is, what takes precedent here, and how the Constitution that now protects the rights is superior to anything that the province could imagine today. And I think today was probably a learning experience for them, because they probably never met this kind of resistance before. And unfortunately, a lot of our people, they don't stand up as like they should. And if you think something's wrong, stand up and fight it, and the truth will come out at the end. I think if they are to follow our good sound advice to them, which is to let's sit down at a meeting so that we can look at the facts, we can resolve this real quick. And I can teach them a little bit about Aboriginal and treaty rights.
I just want to relate to whomever's watching this that we came here in a peaceful manner, and there is no screaming, yelling, whatever. We came as a total support people for Tim and Jo-An, and respecting their space. And we respect the time that people came here to do the support for them. And I think that's important that we did it in peace, as a peaceful people.
We're standing on unceded lands, beholding an original title. And this is the statement that's glued to it. So that needs resolution. Del speaks of negotiable resolutions, and they exist. So we can't have this as the solution. Extinction is not a solution. So we have within these unceded lands the notion that through the Band Council, through the province of Ontario, and through the federal government of Canada under the British rule, we have these scenarios of reservations. And so the reservations that we exist upon are held by a document called the Rowan Proclamation of 1854. And it's not the Robinson Treaty of 1850. Inside the Rowan Proclamation that makes these reserves, and there are 20 pieces of land stated from Nipigon, so it says on the side, lakes, Indian lands, Lake Huron, Superior, Nipissing, and Nipigon, which is a very expansive swath of territory this covers. So within it, there were created 20 reservations of land held by this proclamation, and it lists that the statute governing these reserves is created in 1850, and the statute that created was an act for the protection of the Indians in Upper Canada from imposition and property occupied or enjoyed by them from trespass and injury. So this rings for me. That's why I'm sitting here, helping Tim out here, because he's occupying for enjoyment from trespass and injury. So when we have much more territory than these so-called reserves, the boundary of succession extinguishment of territory, succession to the federal crown, to the provincial crowns, has never happened. So what they're acting upon is fraudulence and cover-up. And so we have to notify them that there are alternatives to their understandings, and that there are realities to the legalities and the truth involved here. So we need to pool our resources, we need to assemble our people, and we need firstly to teach our own people what the situation is. Therefore, then we can teach the general society at large that imposes to come and occupy our territory, and to make them understand that this is a coexistence situation, not a domination.
I'd like to acknowledge the footprints of the children that ran the trails through this very land, Kewaquado homestead. And it was a welcoming path to all people, not just a few, and not to be coveted the way that it is today. And I feel today that the spirit of those footprints have been sadly damaged. They have to feed and feast the lands again and everything that she was gifted with. Thank you.